Please put your palms together again. And I like to share the words of Shinran Shongin from Tangisho, a record of lamenting divergences, which is on page 679 of collected works of Shinran. I know nothing at all of good or evil, for if I could know thoroughly, as Amida Tathagata knows, that an act was good, then I would know good. If I could know thoroughly, as the Tathagata knows, that an act was evil, then I would know evil. But with a foolish being full of blind passions, in this fleeting world, this burning house, all matters without exception are empty and false, totally without truth and sincerity. The Nembutsu alone is true and real. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Nammanda Butsu, Nammanda Butsu, Nammanda Butsu. So I'm sorry for the trouble again, but what I have said before we started this Dharma talk again is that we are going to continue the live streaming of the services, even though we are able to get together physically in the future. So please look for online services every Sunday, and I'm doing the morning services every day too. So if you are interested, please join me in the morning service too. And actually, it's really great to see many people from all over the world, out of state, and it's good to see members commenting on the YouTube live chat. Today, main focus is Facebook, so if you can leave the message or comment, I can comment you back later. But it's really great to see all of you, even though it's virtual. And anyway, there are so many things going on or happening in the world right now. And difficult part of being Buddhist minister is that if I prepare my message too early, then my message is kind of out of date. Then if I try to prepare my message a day before, then it's not going to profound as much as I want my message to. And you know, if something happens and if I don't say anything about it, some people would say, "Sensei, why didn't you say something about the issue?" And if I say something, then some people would say, "Sensei, today's message was too political," you know. So of course, I know that I cannot satisfy everybody, but I believe the balance is really important in anything. And by the way, can you find the common point of the animals I am going to mention? Are you ready? Gorilla, lion, tiger, elephant, and white bear. One more time. Gorilla, lion, tiger, elephant, and white bear. What do you think? Are these animals we can see in the zoo? And actually, these animals are the animals on the red list of threatened species. And do you know how many species are on the red list? And as of 2019, there are 28,338 species are on the list. If these species are naturally disappearing from the world, we cannot do anything about it. But some maybe most of the species are going towards extinction because of human beings' economical activities. So by directly mentioning the species in danger, we recognize the situation of the certain species. And if that is caused by our self-centered activities, that makes us rethink and adjust our way of life. And of course, all the lives are noble and precious. But there are situations we realize for the first time by someone mentioning it. You know, I didn't know that the lions are on the red list until I searched the species on the red list. So now, in Portland and many cities in the world, many people are participating in the movement of Black Lives Matter. And since I was born and raised in Japan, I learned about the history of slavery and discrimination against black people when I was in university, but I did not realize straight away. But by someone posting pictures and raising voice about why they are saying Black Lives Matter instead of All Lives Matter, I really understood what the Black Lives Matter means. And so I know that there are a lot of opinions on anything, and I am sure that some people feel that Buddhist ministers should not take on any the side. But I totally agree on the movement of Black Lives Matter. However, though, one thing we should be really careful is discriminating someone to end a discrimination. If we discriminate someone because they are in a particular group, that is repeating the same thing over and over again. I think Japanese American people understand this well. Japanese American people were interned in camps, and some Japanese American people pledged one's loyalty to the United States and fought for the United States. But the common idea in the United States society was that Japanese means evil. So this is what I am afraid of, what I'm afraid to happen now. Of course, we cannot overlook the abuse of the power, but it does not mean all the people who are in certain group is bad people. But we have tendency to think that way. You know, look what happened to Muslims after 9/11. Look what happened to Asian people after this COVID-19. We often put label on people using our own measure of what is good and what is bad. So this is the reason I wanted to share Shinran Shonin's words from Tangisho at the beginning. We don't know what is good and bad. We think we know what is good and bad from our self-centered viewpoint. But my good is somebody's wrong. And you know, Buddhism don't make us good people. Becoming Buddhist does not mean that we become a good person. But Buddhism makes us realize our foolish nature of always relying or our self-centered mind, using our measure to judge what is good and what is bad. And if somebody's idea is agreeable, that person is a good person. If someone's idea is disagreeable, then that person is a bad person. So we are using this, our own measure, all the time. And do you know what this mind leads us to? That leads us to another discrimination. So Buddhism is a teaching to realize this foolish nature of ours so that we should rely on the wisdom of Buddha. Then the question is, what does Buddha teaches us? And there is a sutra titled Samyutta Nikaya. Those who are friends of mine on Facebook might have seen this quote from Samyutta Nikaya. But there is a story of King Prasenajit and Queen Shrimala. The king and queen had conversation, and king asked the queen if there is anything dearer than the self. Then the queen replied, I cannot find anything dearer than the self. And listening to this, the king replied, you know what? That is what I am thinking too. So they started to wonder if this is a good thing or not. So they asked Shakyamuni Buddha for the guidance. Then Shakyamuni Buddha said, mind and thought of the person or people can travel any place. But although we look around the world, we cannot find anything dearer than the self. As same as you, other people loves the self the most. Then those who knows how dear the self is should not harm the others. So this word of Shakyamuni Buddha is really eye-opening. We, the ordinary beings, rely on our self-centered ideas. We cannot extinguish self-love. But Shakyamuni Buddha is not saying that we should strive to extinguish the self-love. Instead, he's saying that admit it. Admit that you have self-love. And because we know how much we love ourselves, we should not harm the others. Because the other people loves themselves too. So realization of this nurtures the mind of respecting others. So what I want to say is that we should realize our own nature of relying on our self-centered ideas, and we all have mind of self-love. And because of this nature of ours, Amida Buddha established the primal vow to grasp and never abandon us. And whenever we attach to our self-centered ideas, Amida Buddha calls us in Nembutsu to wake up. So we should be always mindful of the working of Amida Buddha in Nembutsu. The compassionate calling of Amida to grasp and never abandon all sentient beings leads us to the realization of the foolish nature of relying on self-centered ideas, realization of having self-love. And that leads us to think about others' feelings. Because everyone loves the self the most, and we know how hurtful if someone hurt me if someone hurt us, we should not harm the others. We should respect the others. So this is my sincere hope that we keep Nembutsu in our heart in this difficult time and nurtures the mind of respecting others and mind of being compassionate to other people. So thank you all for listening. And in closing, please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. I know nothing at all of good or evil. For if I could know thoroughly, as Amida Tathagata knows, that an act was good, then I would know good. If I could know thoroughly, as the Tathagata knows, that an act was evil, then I would know evil. But with a foolish being full of blind passions in this fleeting world, this burning house, all matters without exception are empty and false, totally without truth and sincerity. The Nembutsu alone is true and real. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda. So this will conclude today's service. But it was really interesting that this morning I was talking with Ken. You know, we didn't have issues with internet for a while. Then it happened. So I don't believe in jinx, but maybe we jinxed it. Anyway, next week is second Sunday of the month. So we are going to have a Shotsuki monthly memorial service for June. So if you have your loved ones passed away in June, please participate or attend the service. If not, it doesn't mean you cannot attend the service. You are always welcome to attend any services at the Oregon Buddhist Temple. So please come back again next Sunday, and I hope to see you on next Sunday. So thank you all for attending, and let's close today's service with Gassho and Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Thank you, and I hope you will have a great day today.